Hello and welcome to another week of the Capsule. I hope everybody's good, had a good week. Let's jump straight into what happened this week. So, the WDSF World Championships for breaking were this weekend that just went on the Saturday. If you are not familiar, the WDSF is the World Dance Sport Federation, and the breaking world championships that they had, I've spoken about it before on the podcast, and we've spoken to some people that gave us some insight on it, Sunny and people like that. There was a couple of capsules ago when I called Manny, so check that one out if you're not familiar. But basically, it is the same kind of judging system and setup that the Olympics will be. However, this was nothing to do with the Olympics. It was just like a kind of, not practice run because it is a thing, but it was like a way of starting to put on jams and competition. Well, at this level, it's not really a jam anymore, but like big level competitions to get people in the kind of frame of mind of what the Olympics is going to be like, and also to kind of establish some sort of presence for the WDSF in the breaking scene, as far as I have been informed. So some countries, I believe, didn't hold qualifiers, but they just picked a team. Some people held their own qualifiers. Whoever basically was the organization that decided to send a team could. I think there was maybe a selection process or a administrative process of how to become the representative, but we have Breaking GB as the GB committee, let's say, who are involved with WDSF. And so we did a qualifier, not me, Breaking GB, but as a country, we did a qualifier back in November, and they picked 2 B-boys and 2 B-girls. So obviously we still had a winner and a second place, but the winner, all 4 of them would go to Paris, but it was just dependent on, I think, the rankings of where they sat when they got to Paris. So Sunny and Karam and Emma Shortbread and Roxy were the 4 that were set to go. I think a couple of days before, it must have been a couple of days before or a day before, they announced that Sunny would not be able to go anymore to the WDSF finals because obviously he qualified. But there is what Breaking GB announced was a max stay travel regulation rules post Brexit. So from what I gather, there's a certain amount of time that you can travel within Europe now that we are out of the EU. Also not Europe, but like within the EU countries, I guess. And if you go past that time, you have to kind of come out, wait a certain time period, and go back in. So you can't just stay endlessly. I don't know what the time periods are, but basically what was said is that Sunny exceeded that because obviously he's traveling and doing a lot of stuff, so he wouldn't have been able to travel back into Paris because they would have looked at his travel history and said, nope, you can't come in. Which is a shame, because if you haven't already figured this out, Sunny's pretty good. But we replaced him with Sheku. I'm saying we as if it's like a football team, but Breaking GB replaced Sunny with Sheku. So Sheku lost to Karam, the other qualified B-boy, in the semi-finals. So if he had beat Karam, he would have been in the finals against Sunny. He didn't. He lost in the semis, and he was like, it was a pretty close battle. It was pretty good. It's very, very high level. He's on the level of Sunny and Karam. He won the UK Cypher for Red Bull BC1, and then he was out of BC1 as part of the like UK representation there, where he did dope. He's been on a roll for quite a while. Super high level guy. So it really wasn't like a downgrade or anything, or it wasn't like a B team situation. It was like just because of the qualification and who happened to win in that battle, that's who we were going to send. But replacing Sonny with Sheko is also dope, you know. So that's cool. So then they went out, and then Karam reported that he had an injury when he got there, I think, in Paris, or he announced it when he got to Paris. I don't know how long this had presented itself before Paris, but yeah, he went out and kind of said that, well, let's see what the Breaking GB update said, that Karam travelled out holding an injury with hopes of being pain-free enough to compete, but we made the decision this morning that it wasn't worth the long-term injury risk for him to battle today. So, yeah, Karam basically announced that he wouldn't be competing. I definitely get it, because, you know, you can replace him before he goes. Say they had known about it. You could replace him before he goes, and then he's, you know, you're kind of, there's a chance that he could have been fine. And it would have been a shame not to have him there. It's not like there's no other good B-boys in the UK, but Karam is very good, and there's a reason he won. So to replace him when it's not 100% that his injury is going to be too much to handle, it could have been something that they regretted. So I get the decision to kind of take him out there and hope it was good, but also I think it's a good thing that he made the decision not to compete. If he wasn't feeling 100% or didn't think he was going to be able to once he was there, because he didn't just, I'm assuming, didn't just, you know, stroll off the Eurostar and go, man, I don't feel like competing. Like, he probably did some rounds, did some training, did some, I don't know, like whether there was ciphers at that time or whatever, but he probably was putting in some time and then was like, nah, like this is not going to happen this weekend. We need our dancers to have longevity, and we need them to be safe and injury free more than we need them to compete and to win any individual battle, in my opinion. So I think it's like, yeah, it's disappointing, and it's like, damn, that's a shame. I wonder how well he would have done, etc., etc. But, you know, I think if we're looking at being mature, you know, athletes with longevity, you got to make these calls sometimes. And I'm, you know, trusting the Breaking GB team and Karam that they know what they're doing. And I think if this is the decision they came to together, it probably was the right one. They could have pushed him into competing, even if he, made the finals or something and then hurt himself badly and knew that that was a risk from before. That would have been a shitty decision. So, yeah, like, shout out to Karam. Hope he's healing well. And yeah, like, as tough as it is, that I think he needs to be commended for making that kind of decision, especially when you're at the event and you're around other people and you're like, fuck it, I could just jump in. Fuck it, like, maybe I could do it. Maybe I'll just make it happen, and maybe I could do this. But if something happens and it goes left, you're in bigger trouble than you are if you just, you know, leave it. So anyway, so Karam didn't compete. Then Roxy and Shortbread both reached the top 32 of the group stages. Then Roxy did her first round robin battle, which is kind of like a group stage, everyone battles everyone kind of situation, and sprained her ankle. So I have to credit her with renaming the team Broken GB instead of Breaking GB, because that's pretty funny. But yeah, so Roxy sprained her ankle pretty bad and had to withdraw. So that sucks. That sucks butts. But it's the same situation. Because she, again, I don't know how bad it was. I wasn't there. It could have been a situation where it was really bad and she was like swollen and icing and literally can't walk on it. It could have been a little one that was like, I don't know if I can go on. But again, withdrawing is like, you know, you got to preserve your longevity, like, especially if you're working towards something like the Olympics or whatever, or just any other battles, or just trying to work and live as a dancer. Like, your body is like your only tool, basically. So you've got to like look after that shit. So yeah, again, it's a shame. We don't know how well Roxy would have done. It's a shame that, you know, we had two members of a four-member team who were injured, and one who couldn't come and had to be replaced. But, you know, I think they're all, well, like, say with Roxy and Cram, like, these decisions to withdraw is like, I think it's a dope thing. Not a dope thing that they got injured at all, but it's good that they made these smart decisions. And this is the benefit of having infrastructure and having a team and having knowledgeable people around and looking after people. It's not just Karam going, fuck it, I'm going to do it. Or Roxy going, it's all right, I'll do another round, it'll be fine. It's like a team decision. No, you're not doing it. We can't afford you to continue. I don't know. Maybe Roxy was like, I'm not doing it. And, and they were like, you sure? But, you know, this is the thing. With a team, you make these smart decisions for the longevity of the team rather than, you know, like just a solo dancer by themselves just being like, I'll make it happen. So, yeah, I think it's, you know, it's a shame that they got injured, of course, and I hope they heal quickly and it's not too serious. But it's better to pull out early than it is to, you know, go in and like hurt yourself way worse and you know, do more damage. And, you know, it's one thing, okay, we don't have Karam and Roxy for this one battle, but for them to be out of action for months or for a year, or, you know, to never be able to get back to where they were is a big thing. So it's better that didn't happen. And, you know, I spoke before about Sonny, where he had this injury that meant he had to have surgery, and it was a big deal that he was able to come back and compete, because that's really dope. And to be able to come back at such a high level and to have it not knock him too much, I don't think, from an external results perspective, I don't know how he feels, but like, he seems to be still competing at a fucking high level. You know, that's lucky. Like, it could have been a lot worse, especially an injury that meant surgery. So I'm glad that, you know, fingers crossed, Karam or Roxy don't have this type of long-lasting injury. But yeah, it's a shame, but I like the smart decision making and the maturity in those decisions. So that's dope, and shout out to Breaking GB for supporting them through that as well. I'll just read the rest of the GB update. So there was 100 dancers in each category. This was on the day of the event. So on Saturday, they released this. They said it was a tough prelim session with over 100 dancers in each category. Shortbread and Roxy both reached top 32 group stages. After first round battle, Roxy unfortunately had to withdraw following a nasty ankle sprain. Shortbread had an excellent performance, finishing in their group in second position to Poland's Paulina. That's dope. Sheku put in a great round, but unfortunately the judges didn't choose him to advance to the top 32 B-boys in an incredibly strong field. Karam travelled out holding an injury with hopes of being pain-free enough to compete, but we made the decision this morning that it wasn't worth the long-term injury risk for him to battle today. So that's the official press release from Breaking GB. So then the event obviously went ahead, and there was a live stream in the evening. I think it was like 7 p.m. UK time, and everybody hated the commentary from what I see. Maybe I'm talking rubbish, but from what I see and hear, everybody didn't like the commentary, and it was a bit uninformed and a bit like, I didn't get to catch it because I was driving back from Bristol, but yeah, it didn't sound like a positive response. It's an interesting topic, the commentary in dance battles. You know, we've had quite a few people do it. Renegade's done it before. I think Paris did it before. Roxy, I think, did it, but she also hosted like kind of backstage at BC1 this year. I'm sure there's other people that have done it. Spin has done it, but I think it's, you know, it's not so much a UK issue at this point, where we don't really have a lot of battles that are doing commentary that are UK based. I don't think there's any. I don't know, I could be wrong, maybe there is. I haven't seen any that have commentary, because the UK Cypher BC1 had a live stream but no commentary. One thing Red Bull did this year at BC1 is they allowed you to have the commentary in different languages and to turn it off completely, which I think is good, because if you don't want it, then you can just turn it off and it's not really an issue. And if you do want it and it does help, then cool. The idea of commentary is like, you need information if you're not from the sport and you don't know the context and the history and all that to when you're watching a sport, right? If you turn on curling or any of these Olympic sports that are a bit more abstract or not so mainstream, right? Like everyone kind of knows how football or basketball works. If you try and watch American football, if you know nothing about American football, try and watch it and try and not like listen to the commentary or understand the rules. Same, with any of these abstract sports, like snowboarding or any of these things that maybe people don't watch regularly. The commentary is supposed to give you a little insight into what's going on, because especially with, let's say a normal sport, American football, there's rules and points are being scored and things are happening, like where someone breaks a rule or someone does something, there's a timeout or whatever. And this is all like, there's a rule book that you can look at and there's concrete boundaries to this stuff, right? But it's so complicated that over the course of like an American football game, a beginner is probably not going to figure out all the rules. You probably get the idea that the ball is supposed to go that way, the other team are going that way, that type of stuff. But you might not understand all the rules in one game with no context. In dance, it's even harder, I think, because there's no even with the rule book and even with this super extensive judging system, it's still at a certain point it's still objective, right? There's not really like something where in basketball, if the ball goes through the net, you've scored. There's no opinion, there's no decision to be made. If the ball goes through the net, you've scored. There is subjectivity in the fouls in basketball, let's say. What one person thinks is a foul, the other person might not think is a foul. And there's rules about what is or isn't a foul, but in the moment, the person has to make a call and say that I think that broke the rule. It's similar in breaking, where you have this judging system and you have a rule book now, which is great and it's a massive step forward, but it's still a person looking at that and going, I believe that this fits this thing or fits this thing. It's more similar to the fouls in basketball than it is to the scoring in basketball, because there's not something saying, oh yeah, that b-boy, like in gymnastics or something, he executed that trick and landed it, so therefore he wins, right? Or he gets that point. It's not quite that, because it's context and other things. I'm not going to profess to know everything about the judging system, but I'm pretty sure I'm on the mark with that. So if you're watching and you don't know anything about the rules and it's subjective, you're going to be very lost in terms of, well, why did that person win? Why did that person win? And viewers being clued in is what you need for eyeballs to be on the sport. So if we want breaking to grow, same way skateboarding has grown and stuff, we need the casual person to care and to tune in and to watch it. It's all good, all the dancers loving it and stuff like that, but it's very important for growth that we bring in as many people to watch it as possible, because that enhances the amount of money, the amount of sponsorship opportunities, the amount of different things that can happen. It is purely about, not purely, but mostly about numbers and how many people can engage in the thing. Commentary helps with that. So it gives you a little insight when it's done properly. Oh, this is happening because of this. Oh, that means this happened. Oh, cool. He's doing that because of this. Then both of them aren't going in. Why? Oh, because if you go second, you might feel like you have a little bit of an advantage because of this, this, and this. Oh, cool. So now you're like, oh, I get why they're just standing either side of the stage looking at each other. Do you know what I mean? But I think the issue is it needs to be done right. And when you have commentators that don't really know what they're talking about, or are misinformed, or just don't know how to express themselves properly, you're like, a little comment here or there is going to like really piss off the people who are in the culture. And as much as we need the growth from the external people, all the external people who want breaking, or who want to use breaking, or who want to use these things for them to grow, they need us to be on their side. So it is kind of this relationship where it's like, yes, we need these external things, but at the same time, don't let those external things piss us off, because if you lose the support of the core of the sport, it's going to be a lot harder for you to grow without the real, if suddenly there's a boycott or the real good talent doesn't do these things, it's going to be an issue. So, yeah, the commentary thing, I think my opinion is I like it. I always have it on when I'm watching breaking and stuff. I think it's good to hear, and I like the way it's done. I just think you need the right people. You need people that can speak well. It's not just about, because there's some people that are really intelligent, really well informed, really know breaking, but I wouldn't want them as commentators. So you've got to have this balance. I think the one where Renegade and Sway did it was good, because it was a BC1 finals, and you had Renegade, who was the like technical, like telling all the information and all that sort of stuff. But then you had Sway, who is a great experienced radio personality. He's been doing it for years, is one of the best ever in terms of interviews and talking on camera. So he was really good to listen to, but then he would play off Renegade and ask him, oh, what does this mean? What? And then give him the alley-oop to say, and that's what this means, so that Renegade doesn't have to just keep offering the information over and over, right? So they would use each other. It was I really like that setup. I think there's a lot of other people that could do the job, but I just think it needs to be the right people. And I think this is I don't know what the answer is, but just need to figure it the fuck out, really. What else happened? So there was a screening by a guy called Debo, who is a cameraman, filmmaker, let's say, from the UK dance scene, and he held a 4-hour screening of like archived dance footage from the UK scene. So Debo, like I said, was a cameraman. So the footage that he had was basically from 2001 to 2011. I was invited. I didn't get a chance to go because I had personal stuff to do. But it looked cool. Like Debo was around the 2001 to 2011 period was kind of the era of like early Boy Blue, Plague, Flawless, a lot of these kind of iconic dance crews in the UK. I don't know how much he was involved in the battle scene, but I do know it was a lot of the stuff was like shows and stuff like that. I'm sure he's done battles before. I just can't put my finger on which ones. But I think it's a cool idea. It was at Stratford View Cinema, so quite a big screening. It wasn't just like, in someone's house or whatever. It's cool. I like stuff like this. I think we need more events and things happening surrounding dance that aren't just battles and shows and training sessions. Like, it's cool to make, like, I don't know if we're in like denial that this is a community or something, but it's like we're a community and there's a lot of things that have happened. There's a lot of friendships that have grown. There's a lot of history. It is a community, and we go out and hang out with our friends and stuff like that. So why can't we, have screenings of stuff and show stuff that's happened, or kind of look back over the history? I wish there was more kind of like networking events and like just little, I don't know, like an evening where we can go out and have drinks and meet people. It is not just about dancing. It's about, just being around other people in the community and stuff like that. So I think this is a cool idea. It's a cool initiative. It was a private invite only event, which I would have loved if this was open and free. Now, Debo has no responsibility to make this public. It's his footage. It's his screening. It's his idea. If he wants to do it invite only, that's totally fine. He did make a status today, and he said apology as a part of a longer status. He said, apologies to the ones that didn't get a chance to come because it was invite only. I didn't have enough money to invite everyone for free, but that was my goal. So, and he said that he's working on doing more. He said yesterday was not even 1% of what I've got coming. So it'd be interesting to see what goes on moving forward. I think like, even though I said he doesn't have a responsibility to make these things public, it sounds like an incredible resource, and it would be great if these things were made public and advertised. And even if we have to pay, I would have paid to go. I would have definitely paid to go. I would have paid a fair amount to go to that. A 4-hour screening, like maybe 10, 15, something like that, I would have paid. I don't know how many seats are at the Stratford View, but you could charge a decent fee for that, because it's a lot of organization, and 4 hours of footage in a screening is a lot. So yeah, I mean, I would love to see this not free, public, and for people that maybe don't have the hookup or know people who are going or know Debo or anything like that, to just kind of wander along and check it out. I'd love to put on something like this myself, if I had the resources, or even not just with one filmmaker, but like to put on an event where someone, or even if I collated what do you call that, like video pictures and stuff, and made like an exhibition of all like UK dance history. It's a huge job, but it seems like he's already kind of made a good start. So yeah, I'd just love to see it be public in future. And for people, maybe you just moved to the UK, you don't really know anyone, and you're like, oh, what's going on in the UK? I can imagine if I moved to another country, I'd want to go to something like this. If I was in Paris and there was something like this, I'd be like, that'd be sick. I might even go to Paris for something like that, just to check it out. And even more so if you're like a young dancer that's from here and you want to, see about all the, what was Kenrick doing before I met him? Or, you know what I mean? Like, where did Brooke come from? Like, it'd be interesting to see all this stuff. So yeah, like, again, I'm very much one for like people can do what they want. There's no necessarily responsibility to do anything for anyone else, but I would have liked this to be public just because it looks super dope, and it would be dope if other people can see it, But yeah, we've got to start somewhere. So maybe this was the first of many things. And if that's the case, I look forward to being able to go, hopefully, to another one. What else? What else do we have to talk about? A few battles that happened on Saturday in Bristol. Kieran put on a jam. It was the Jam. Jam is the name of the company, and it was a jam. All Styles battle, 1-on-1, and a hip hop and popping mixed styles battle. And Silk Boogie won both of them. So shout out to Mr. Max. And yeah, he did sick. He beat Clara in the finals of the hip hop and popping mixed, and Clara beat Sean in the semis, and Max beat someone else in the semi, so I forgot. Apologies. And then yeah, he won the All Stars as well, which is really cool. It was a really nice little jam. I miss stuff like that. And yeah, I also wanted to shout out while I was there the younger guys. I can't, apologies guys, I don't remember everybody's name in your group of friends, and I don't know who's in what crew, but it's people like Kane, Quake, Idris, I don't remember all of you guys, but like those guys who all hang out together, regardless of who's in what crew or anything like that, those group, I really want to shout out them because Shin, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but those guys, I think it's dope what they're doing, and I think it's sick to see younger guys that like, they always travel together to go to battles, they always like put the work in, they're always like not taking anyone's shit. Like Sean was trying to go at some of them in the battles, which is dope, and I think he should. But then they didn't have it, and they were pushing back on him, and I was like, "That's good. Don't let him push you around." I just love to see that like they all seem to support each other, and they all go to battles together, and they roll together, and they have their own thing going on, and they're not like begging for anyone else's approval. They're just doing their thing. So I think that's dope, and I think that should be encouraged more with the younger guys. Like, you can do your own thing and trust in yourself to build your shit and to go around and push your name and represent it. And yeah, I think it's sick. So yeah, just shout out to them. I really like what they're doing. And yeah, it reminds me of the sort of thing that we wanted to do when we were younger, and we used to travel around and go to these battles and stuff. I'd love to see them get out of the country as well. Obviously COVID is like stopping that, but that's not a criticism at all, because I know we're all sensitive after Sean's status, but like, no, just like, it would be sick to see them lot like go over and just like fucking smoke some people in another country and then come back like with some wins and whatever. Even if they, even if they just get to like quarters or semis, or, do some shit overseas, it'd be dope to see them, taking what they're doing well and showing other people. But yeah, shout out to them. I think it's dope, and full support for them lot. And yeah, shout out to Silk for winning again and winning 2 categories in one battle. Both categories, there were only 2 categories, so he was going back-to-back rounds and won both, so that's not easy. B-Boy Alien and Lightfoot. I feel like I'm talking about Lightfoot every week, so guys, if you could stop winning, that'd be great. No, I'm joking. Don't stop winning. They won a battle in Spain, representing Primal Instincts. So shout out to them. Another win in the bag, and it's nice to see them, doing that out of the country and stuff like that. Obviously, they weren't able to do the WDSF, so they were out repping somewhere else, so that's dope. And then Mash, her name's Kiara, but her dance name is Mash, won 1v1 All Styles on house music in Barcelona this weekend as well. So a lot of people battling this weekend from the UK, so that's dope. And yeah, congrats to everyone that did well anywhere. I don't know if there was any that I missed, but if there's ever any winners or people that, even if you know that there's a battle coming up and I may not have seen it, please do send me the names of the winners. Or if you know an event that's putting a battle on and like they might be able to message me the winners or whatever, that'd be dope. Because I'm only one person. Is there anything else? Oh, Creation Box closed. That's a shame. Yeah, Creation Box was a lovely studio in Lambeth, and Rachel K used to run it, and she was really like a part of the dance community and really like helped out people, and a lot of artists went there to like, it wasn't really like a battle cypher training place, but it was like a place where a lot of like artistic dancers, well, we're all artistic, but you know what I mean, artsy artistic dancers would go and like work on their stuff and explore, and it was quite a nice space. And yeah, just certain spaces have a nice vibe to them and a nice feel, and I think with a certain type of creation, like, you can battle or train pop in kind of anywhere really, and it kind of, some venues are nice, but people talk about this with like, say, Paradiso in Amsterdam, that like there's just a feeling to the space and it brings out something different. And I feel like Creation Box to a lot of people was that as well, where it had a nice feeling and a nice vibe. There's just something about the space that kind of brought out like the creativity in people. I've been there quite a few times and it was really lovely. So yeah, I think Rachel closed it for reasons to focus on herself and her career and stuff like that, as far as I know. But yeah, it's a shame that it's gone, but thank you to Rachel for all the work she did on it and all the team that worked on Creation Box. I'm sure it wasn't just her. Yeah, I think that's about it really. What do we have coming up? Rain Crew, I think it's Rain Crew, or maybe I'm just assuming it's Rain Crew. East Dance Jam. Maybe it's not Rain Crew. Oh no, it is. It says organised Hakeem Saber and Rain Crew. London Dance Jam, East London Dance Jam for All Styles. They're putting on an event this weekend. Let me see what it says here. I can't find the thing, but yeah, basically it's a All Styles event on the weekend, I believe. Yeah, so that'd be cool. It's in Centre Stage in East London, Maryland, and I will update the calendar. So if there's any events, please send them to me and let me know. And you can always check out the Capsule Instagram to see if anything's coming up. Yeah, I don't know that there's anything else to update you with, so I don't want to keep talking for no reason. Yeah, have a good week, guys. Hope you're getting all your shit done so that everyone can take a break for Christmas. I know I am trying to do that. Yeah, see you next week. Peace, guys.
The Duke London. See, my days are cold without you, but I'm hurting while I'm with you. And though my heart can't take no more, I keep on running back to you. See, my days are cold without you, but I'm hurting while I'm with you. And though my heart can't take no more, I keep on running back to you. Running back to you. Keep 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 on running back to you. Keep The Duke London. Say my days are cold without you.